Okay, guys, we gotta talk about the New York City real estate market because it's not as great as what some people are saying. In fact, it's basically pretty terrible. You got properties on the market for years and zero price appreciation. You have properties on the market and they're slowly going down in price every single day. And if you look at this modest unit in Hell's Kitchen, this isn't even like that crazy of a unit. In fact, I could say this is on more of the affordable side of Manhattan because it's a pretty decent unit. The building itself is okay. I mean, nothing super fancy either. You can't really get wrong with this unit, and the views are pretty good. The location is pretty nice. $2 million, 3 bed, 2 bath, 1,700 square feet, and it's a penthouse. So why isn't this unit selling when it's this decked out? Well, it's because there's so much competition, right? If you look at some of the transaction prices, it's absurd. So all the way back in 2018, this penthouse was listed for $3.5 million. And I guarantee you, back then, $3.5 million for something like this was actually pretty reasonable. It's big. You got a rooftop terrace. You got pretty good views as well. And in 2019, they knocked it off by $500,000. They couldn't really sell it. And then during the pandemic, they really thought that 0% interest rates will actually sell this unit, but no, it didn't. So eventually they just knocked it off by a whole entire $1,000,000. And now they're selling it for $2 million, whereas just a few years ago, it was trying to be listed for $3.5 million. Units like these have been on market for a very, very long time. Now, obviously, this isn't true for all units, but many units are like this because Manhattan's transactions for real estate is at an all-time low. Sure, cash deals are very high, but how many people are paying cash, right? How many people have $2 to $3 million in cash in the bank accounts? Not a lot. Most people do mortgages, but because mortgages are so high and it's actually pretty difficult to get one, Manhattan real estate sales plunge 38%. Nobody's buying these condos. Nobody's buying the townhouses. So you got units like these which have no owner and no buyer, and they couldn't even sell this kind of stuff. Not to mention, we'll get to it at the later of the video, the Airbnb crisis that's causing even more units to flood the market. Now, check out this penthouse here, 93 Worth Street. This is financial district, Tribeca, super high end, very nice condo. And hey, if you're a very successful businessman, this is what you get. $7 million with views everywhere. It's great. Great amenities, floor ceiling windows. Like, I would love to have a bedroom like that. That is dope. But what about the price? Well, if you go all the way down here, you do see all the way back in the old days, this unit has been switching hands every single day, right? It's always constantly in transactions, being sold, whatever. But back in 2014, it was originally listed for $8.5 million during the peak frenzy of the real estate market. And then in 2016, it's selling for roughly $8 million. And then 2017 was basically the last transactions. You got it selling for $7 to $8 million. And now it's being listed for $7 million. It's been on the market for a very long time, and they're probably going to be dropping its price even more. The crazy thing about these units is they're on the market for like 2-3 months, and then like the agent takes it off, and then they put it back again so it looks fresh. But in reality, this unit is having a very difficult time selling because $7 million is a lot of money. And not a lot of people are buying Manhattan real estate. In fact, a lot of people are actually buying property overseas. The amount of people spending money for vacation homes and homes outside of the US has grown exponentially. So people who thought about buying a $7 million condo in Manhattan, they may just buy it in Portugal. Apparently, that's where all the Wall Street guys are buying. So you have units like these, the ultra luxury ones, it can't be sold. A lot of people want to get this unit, and the people who want to don't have money, and the people who have money don't want to buy it. And that's what's happening. Then you have your modest units like these, which are more like, I guess, the Manhattan version of middle class, I guess. $1.5 million is still pretty insane, but you got 2 bed, 2 bath. If you look at the prices, same exact thing. You have a lot of units in New York where prices in the past few years just never really changed. Sure, back like almost a decade ago, sold for 1.5. Now it's selling for 1.488. And prices just haven't really moved for a lot of these units. And many of these units, back a few years ago, $1.5 million was worth way more than it is now. All right, with this inflation situation going on, the US dollar wasn't as strong or valuable as it was 10 years ago. So $1.5 million is still a pretty crazy loss. Given the fact that the property tax is insane and the common charges are also pretty insane. So units like these aren't really doing so well either. They're not really selling at all. Then we get towards the Airbnb situation. If you guys don't know what's happening in New York City's Airbnb, massive crackdowns, which took out 75 to 85% of all the Airbnb listings in New York City. Basically just wiped Airbnb off the map for Manhattan. So if you look at this, the new law states that if you want to do Airbnb, the host has to live in the building and they can't have more than 2 guests. Well, those are extremely strict regulations because a lot of these units were purchased for investment, so no way the host is going to live there, right? And usually big Airbnb properties like penthouses generally rent out to groups of people, way more than 2, 5 to 7. So basically, New York City's Airbnb properties are done. If you want to get a short-term rental, good luck, you can't. So New York City crackdown, this is a big deal. And this is causing many of the units that were originally Airbnb short-term rentals to flood the markets because long-term rentals just don't make that much money anymore. And considering some of these guys did buy these units at the peak price, they kind of have to do short-term rentals to make up for it. New York City tourism and hotel industries are still extremely profitable. This is why, unlike San Francisco, New York City still has insane amounts of construction. So you have a lot more properties flooding the market right now. You also have major crackdowns on Airbnbs. You got foreclosures going on, high interest rates for a very long time. You're seeing more units flooding the market than ever before, which is causing a massive problem. This is why units like these, which are a little lower in price, have zero changes in the market cap. You got prices like these penthouses. They can't be sold. And prices like these, which are good units for decent prices, are now getting cut by several hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then head over towards this. This is going to cause an even bigger collapse in the real estate market in New York because big offices in New York exist everywhere. And they're now converting these from the office department to the residential department. And there's recently a one building undergoing, it's the biggest one. It's over 1,000 apartments from this office. And guess how that's going to shake the Manhattan real estate and the rest of the New York City real estate market? A lot, right? This isn't something to joke about because many landlords who have 1 or 2 condos, they rely on short-term rentals, they rely on long-term rentals. And now you got the Airbnb crackdown and now big conversions, which are going to flood New York with a bunch of real estate and apartments. It's going to cause them to go to the foreclosure area or the sales area, which nobody's really buying right now. If you look at Oakland, same exact thing happened in Oakland. Oakland rental prices went down 7.2% in just a span of a few months. That's a rental collapse. And the reason why is they've just built way too many new units. And this office to residential conversion plus the current building speed, we're going to be seeing a lot of the prices in Manhattan real estate dropping like rocks. So get ready, guys. A lot more crazy stuff is happening, and see you later.